Okay. All right. And now let's get back. So you can still see my screen, right? Welcome to Greenbuild.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So, sorry about the delay again. So you should have received that invitation to your portal. I'm just going to walk you through your exhibitor portal, the back end of your virtual booth, and the front end, just so you have the full scope of everything that you can expect. So I am going to enter in my password. Okay. Oh, what's going on? Okay. All right. And then from there, you click log in, and it will take you to your exhibitor portal. So I'm using actually one of our exhibitors booths. So all of you should hopefully be familiar with the side of things. You will see your home, you'll see your tasks and what is expected of you. So from this particular company, they have submitted I think at this point, most everything. The only thing I'm waiting for them on is their post-event video. But from here is where you will see everything that is needed from you for your virtual booth, which I believe that your team is already all set up. I think the only thing that Ruthie, correct me if I'm mistaken, I think I might have just reached out in regards to your background booth banner, but I think everything looks great and is coming along. Your booth is coming along so nicely. So this is where you would upload and submit. And then it comes to me. If it looks good, I'll approve it and upload it for you and send you a preview. If there's anything that you need for me to change, I've actually had quite a few exhibitors ask me this. If there's something that they've submitted that they would like to have changed, if I can change it for them. And yes, I absolutely can. I'm here again to make sure that your experience with us is a great one, is a successful one, is a seamless one. And so whatever you would like to change in your virtual booth, I'm happy to do so. Next, we have the resources tab, and my team and I, we are constantly uploading different things for you to be able to refer back to at your earliest convenience. So we have the exhibitor kit that has registration information and so on and so forth, but you guys are all registered, so that's not anything that you need to worry about. We have the digital sustainability tips, quick tips for a safe and sustainable virtual conference. We have the best practices checklist for virtual exhibits because happy customers matters to us a great deal. We have the quick tech check. Now, this is something that I encourage all of you to test and to try out prior to the show. It tests your internet speed, it tests your webcam access, and it can let you know if you're good to go for the show. So that's something that I recommend making use of. We have the attendee troubleshooting guide, we have the third-party cookie guide, we have the training video. So everything that I'm discussing in this training is here for you to be able to refer back to. My coworkers worked on it and they did a beautiful job, and it's all set up on YouTube, and so you can definitely refer back to it. And then I will be also sending out this training video to all of you after this training as well. Next, we have the Greenbuild traffic driving ideas. We also have the booth layout and submission process guide. So these are your resources for you to be able to look and turn to if ever there's a need for them. Next, we have the company profile page. So as I mentioned, I'm using one of our sponsors. And so from here, this is where you will see the company description. Everything that is here that you can see on this end is what, in terms of this particular part, is what your attendees and visitors will be able to see on the front end facing side. So we ask for two company descriptions, one that is larger and one that is shorter. One is your pop-up welcome message that will be seen in the virtual expo hall, and then one is the one that a visitor will see once they enter your virtual booth, but I will show you both of them, what that looks like. And then next we have, this is where to enter the back end of your virtual booth, this is where you will do it. You simply go to company profile, scroll a bit down, and then from there you click enter virtual room. And that's how you are in the back end of your virtual booth. And then finally, we have the team member. So for the purpose of this training. I'm a temporary team member, but this is where if you would like to add anybody else, you simply click add team members and an invitation will be sent to them. And remember to invite them as admins, not as collaborators. If they're collaborators, they will not be able to see the virtual booth. So that explains your exhibitor portal. Are there any questions that any of you have in regards to that?
Yeah, this is Toby. Quick question. So when we invite people on that last page that you just had, April, is that anyone that to just attend the show, or that is the area, like if Todd and Tommy and I were actually working the booth, you would invite somebody to join and work the booth with you?
Yes, yes. So it's purely for your booth staff members.
Okay.
To invite your attendees or so, that is something I was actually speaking with another exhibitor about this. You can include your booth hyperlinked on your social media pages, and if any of your attendees would like to register, they're able to do so. There's also just there's a promote your presence feature on the exhibitor resources tab where you can promote your presence on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and there's a screenshot that you can have that includes a promo code for your attendees. But for this portion of things, just inviting your team members, it's solely for your team members.
All right, thank you.
No problem, no problem. Okay, now from here, I will show you what the back end of your virtual booth looks like. So give me just a moment to be able to pull that up for you.
April, is it possible to log into our actual one, or you can only do like the demo?
You definitely can. For the purpose of this training, it's easier for me to just use our demo session that we've created for trainings. But yes, like you guys can absolutely just kind of go through it on your own. And if you need me to hop on, I'm happy to do that as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so this should come up any moment now. We're going to enter for our demo session, just enter this virtual room. So give me just a moment for this to come up. Okay, nearly there, everyone.
I know everyone's wondering, yes, the bird flew out. It came right toward me. We looked each other dead in the eye, and he took a hard left. So he's out the door.
Awesome, yay. Can all of you see this screen?
Not yet.
Yes, I can see the green.
Green, yeah. Yes. This is what I'm talking about, this green empty space. Can all of you see it?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So this is the back end. So when you go to company profile in your exhibitor portal and you scroll down and you click enter virtual room, it takes you to a page that looks just like this. And so this green tealish space is what we call the presentation stage. So, and I'll show you what it looks like on the front end on the attendee facing side, but this is where you and your team members will be when the show goes live on November 10th. So if you see this camera and this microphone here to my left, this is where you click it and you will activate it and it will immediately turn your camera on. It will turn your microphone on. And that way your attendees will be able to see you and hear you and communicate with you. There can be engagement and interaction. So this is very, very important to note that you need to activate your webcam and your microphone if you would like to communicate with any visitors in your virtual booth. Next, we have the files portion. So this is where you can upload videos, you can upload PowerPoints, recordings, you can upload pictures. So to do that, you simply go to add file and you upload whatever file you have. And then from there, you simply click on it and you can click add to playlist or play and it will be available for you to use in your virtual booth. And so something that we've found that can't really go any higher than 1 GB at the very most. So on the front end facing side of things, we recommend 100 MB, but on the back end in terms of videos and files, 1 GB is what we recommend and what we found works best with this platform. So that explains the adding files. Next, we have the apps. So here is a whiteboard. As you can see, you can change it to any color and you can draw, you can do whatever you would like, express creativity, whatever you decide. This virtual booth is literally your oyster. So if you would like to make use of the whiteboard, you're more than able to do so if this is something that you would like to include, and whatever takes place here is visible on the front end, the attendee facing side of things. And to clear it, you simply click clear this board and that's it. It disappears. Next, we have the desktop share. In the same way that I'm sharing my screen with all of you, you can share your screen. If let's say there's a YouTube link that you would like to share, and YouTube links unfortunately cannot be linked to this platform. If it is something that you would like to share with your visitors, you simply click desktop share and you can share your screen with your visitors. Next, we have the quizzes portion. And so to create a quiz, you simply enter the quiz name, write the question. It can be multiple choice, multiple answers, open question, whatever you decide, and it is visible for the attendees to see. So this is another fun, engaging feature. We next have the video library. Any videos that you would like to upload can be added here. It's not necessary. I've seen some exhibitors and sponsors where they've uploaded videos, but they didn't necessarily save it to here, and it's still visible for attendees to see. So if that's something that you would like to do, you're more than able to do so. Next, we have the recording feature. If you would like to, in the same way that we're recording this session, if you would like to record any conversations that you're having in your virtual booth, whatever you decide to do, you are able to do that. It takes about 3 minutes before it turns on, but after the 3 minutes is over, you're good to go. And then finally, we have the breakout room. And so something that we recommend for this portion in terms of the breakout rooms. So we recommend that, let's say there's a team of 6 of you. We recommend that one of you stays in this stage, in the presentation stage. And then let's say you decide to make use of the breakout room. So let's say one person here is talking about A, person in room 2 is talking about B, person in room 3 is talking about C. If I were the participant and I wander into your virtual booth and I say to whoever is here, I say to them, oh, I would like to talk about subject B. If you know someone on your team is discussing subject B, you can drag and drop my name to room 2 and I can have a conversation. So something that we found is just having, it's not mandatory, it's whatever you would like to do. But a suggestion is maybe having a salesperson in each room and talking about maybe a specific subject so that it can leave room for more in-depth conversations. And then once you want to end the breakout room, you simply can click close and everyone will automatically be rejoined to the larger conversation rather than having smaller, more in-depth conversations. So it's an option. It's not anything that's mandatory for anybody, but if you would like to make use of it, again, the participant's name will all be here. You just simply drag and drop the person's name to whichever room someone is discussing something a bit more in depth, if that's something that they would like to talk about, or if they would like to hear more about what your company is about, and you know someone in room 3 is just kind of discussing your company's story and everything and all that you do, you can drag and drop that participant to that room and they can communicate with your salesperson from there. So just a suggestion.
April,
Yes?
April, can you name those rooms or do they stay as
Room 1, Unfortunately, I've had this question asked before. Unfortunately, the platform does not give way to name the rooms at this point in time, but there are constant changes to the platform just for us on our end in terms of the staff end. So if that does become an option, I will absolutely let all of you know for you to be able to individually name each room.
Okay.
Okay, so that explains the breakout rooms. Next, we have the chat feature. So as you can see, me and some of my team members were in here playing already, but this is where, so this is the room chat feature. So this is, it's visible on the attendee facing side. So this is where whoever is in your virtual booth, booth staff, visitors, all of them will be able to see whatever discussions take place here in this room chat feature. It's visible, nothing hidden, nothing is in secret or private. It's all out in the open. Next, we have the Q&A portion. Let's say you have a visitor that's shy, that doesn't want to ask a question in front of everyone, in front of the other visitors. And if they want to just ask your team members privately, they simply go to the Q&A feature and they can simply ask their question there, and it's not visible for the other visitors to see. It's only visible for you and your team members, and you can answer their question privately there. And then next we have the moderator chat that is only for all of you, for the booth staff, where you can communicate with each other. Let's say I wander in and I say, I want to talk about, for example, just a random example, I want to talk about flooring, and your team members can communicate with each other privately and say, okay, so this is what she wants to talk about. We were just working on something in regards to this in May. And from there, you can just begin to wow your visitors. So this is only, and this is not visible, again, to the entire room or even to that visitor. This is only for you guys. Next, the Q&A is only between that visitor and with your team. And then the room chat is open season. Just everyone can see it. Next, we have the playlist. So remember when I mentioned about adding files? This is where attendees, whatever you put here in your playlist is visible to your visitors and attendees on the front end facing side. And unfortunately, there is not a way to have like a slideshow. Someone would have to be here, as you can see this PowerPoint, manually clicking each one. But something that I need to note, so the virtual expo hall hours are in your exhibitor resources kit, because we do not expect, no one on the Greenbill team is expecting any one of you to sit chained to your laptop or computer for hours on end. We understand that virtual exhaustion is real. We understand that you may need to walk the dog, go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, go outside and get some fresh air. Like whatever you need to do, we encourage that. All we ask is that someone will be in your virtual booth during virtual expo hours. But if all of you, whoever's in your booth, if all of you need to take a break, you simply create just a simple PowerPoint, standard 16.9 PowerPoint file that says, hey, just stepped away to, and you don't even have to include the reason. Hey, just stepped away. Sorry you missed us. Please feel free to call us at such and such number, or such and such email, whichever email or number you decide to put down. We only ask for a holding slide if you do need to step away, and you simply put that holding slide up, and whatever holding slide you put up, or whatever you decide to have facing on the front end, that will be visible to your attendees. But you can include videos, as we see here. You can include videos. A coworker of mine uploaded a picture of her adorable baby. So you can upload anything in terms of videos, PowerPoints, what else? PDFs, whatever you would like to upload here. There is, as far as I know, we've not come across a limit. So you can upload as much as you like. Again, all we ask is for that holding slide. That is key. And then next we have the participant side. So this is where you will be able to see whichever visitors are in your virtual booth. And so because I'm leading this training session and I'm a booth staff of this particular booth, the green star is by my name. But if I were just a regular participant, degular participant, there wouldn't be a green star beside my name. So whoever is in your virtual booth that is booth staff, the green star will appear, but for the attendees, you will just see their name without the green star, and you'll be able to communicate with them from there. And again, this is another important feature to note. So I turned on my webcam camera, and it's important to note you will be able to see them, and they will be able to see you if you are live. So hi, here I am. So if this booth were live, I would be able to communicate with the attendees or visitors, whoever's on the front end, in this way. And so this is where your attendees will be able to see you and they'll be able to communicate with you. But again, it's important to note that you will have to be live. If you would rather not be live, you don't have, if you would rather not turn your camera on, you don't have to, but it is a best practice for all of you that are in your virtual booth. And then just the last part of this section are the notes feature. So as I mentioned, I was in here playing prior to the session. And so whatever notes you decide to put here, you simply write it. And if you would like for it to be visible on the attendee facing side, you simply click broadcast note and it is visible to your attendees. However, if you don't want it to be broadcasted and you want to just keep it within the family, so to speak, only amongst all of you, you don't click broadcast note and it will be here alongside all of the other disheveled notes. And so, yeah, so that explains the back end of your virtual booth. I want to open up the floor. Are there any questions that any of you have?
So April, one question that I have is that we do have quite a few pieces of literature and things. So would we just put that in the playlist? So that would all of our literature pieces that we have, as well as some of our promotional pieces, we would just stick that on the playlist?
Yes, you can add all of that to your playlist.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Does anyone have any other questions in regards to this side of things?
Yes.
Go ahead, Tom.
April, you had mentioned that on the playlist, you have to have someone like actually going through it.
Yes.
So when a participant comes in, it's not automatically playing unless, let's say, it's just one person.
Yes.
You know,
So
you have to go through it yourself and show them
each thing. Yes. So if it's a PowerPoint, for example, you would have to, if I were in the virtual booth right now and showing it, I would have to go through each one individually. There isn't a slideshow option. However, if you wanted to have a video, that obviously would keep playing repeatedly. But if it's, for example, a PowerPoint, yes, someone would have to be in there to be able to walk the attendee or visitor through each slide.
And we did create a welcome slide graphic, Tommy. So we will have something that you guys can keep on as like the default background until you start an actual chat or a presentation. So that'll be one of the options added to the playlist.
Okay, cool.
Are there any other questions about this side of things?
Let's say no one's in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be something that notifies us that someone comes in the booth, or does that participant have to notify us themselves?
They would have to notify you themselves, because if they come and there's only like a holding slide, then they would probably just leave directly afterwards. So that's why that holding slide is important, just to make sure that you don't miss anyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No, I'm
Okay.
just, Ruthie, are you or Natasha going to be with us these couple of days?
Yes. Yeah. So I will, yes, I'm planning to be, basically kind of hiding in the background so that way if there are any hiccups or anything that we can make sure that we address those right away.
Good, because I could just see Todd and Tommy and Toby and all the T's just screwing this up royally. So.
I'm actually gonna go. Give me a second. I'm just gonna go. I actually want to go to yours, to the front end facing side of your virtual booth, just to. I'm sure some of you have already seen it already, but just to end the training with your booth. So give me just a second.
And April, this may be a dumb question, but my assumption is video is one way, right? We're not going to see the participants' video. They would only see the presenters' video.
If they want to turn on their camera, they absolutely can. So they do have the option if they would like to. Okay. So you might have some that are bold and turn their camera right on, and you might have some that don't want to turn their camera on, but they still want to speak.
And is that something where the moderators have the option to either grant or take away their video privileges?
Yes, so you can, if that person enters your virtual booth, you can turn them on live. You would just simply have to click live, but I wouldn't recommend doing that just in case, like I said, someone's shy and they don't want to be on camera. Because we have had a few people do that where they're like, hey, and they turn the other person's camera on, and just
yeah, you got to be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Some awkward moments, you know. So with that said, I'm just going to show you your booth. Can you see everything? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Woo. Okay, so this is your booth. Beautiful job. I actually, the only thing that I see that I need to fix is just to make your website a hyperlink, so it's live, and they can click into it in the same way that they could do this. But again, beautiful job on just getting me everything that I needed to create your virtual booth. So as you can see, this is your background booth banner. Here's the time. I've also had a few exhibitors ask, wait a minute, I signed up for all 3 days. Don't worry, the way Bizzabo is set up, it can only have like 1 day at a time for each live show. So after the show is over on November 10th, I will go into each booth and update the information for Wednesday, November 11th. So for each day that you were in your virtual booth, the dates will be updated for you. So not to worry. You did pay for all 3 days, and we're going to make sure you get all 3 days. And so, so that is just something important to note. And then this is the other side. I've had a couple of people ask if I can remove virtual booth. Fortunately, I cannot. It's important, just an important note to have added to each virtual booth. But then this is your short company description. Thank you for that. It is great. I will directly after this call, I will make this a hyperlink so that visitors can click in. And then next we have to schedule a meeting with us. If there is a company, let's say they're in the same way that you would on a live trade show floor, if there's a company that you would like to meet with and network with that is also exhibiting, you can schedule a meeting with them. They can schedule a meeting with you, and it creates just a moment and some time for networking virtually, which I think is great. And then next we have the product categories. And so this is where we've created a search feature where a visitor, let's say, for example, they say, you know what, I want to learn more about insulation, house wrap, and moisture control. Boom, Fortress Building Products will come up as one of the virtual booths that the visitor can go and learn more information in regards to whatever they would like to discuss. Whichever of these 3 fits them, your company will immediately come up. Next, I know that this might look funny. So this is the presentation stage. So it's green on the back end and black on the front end. And so this is where attendees will be able to see you once the show goes live. Your booth will be turned on, and they'll be able to see you and communicate with you, and just kind of build and talk. And so and then on this side, because the booth is in live, you can't see it, but the screen kind of like cuts kind of halfway down, and this is where the room chat feature and the Q&A feature is. And so again, the moderator feature is not available. And so there will be just like this little portion that is cut off with the option for them to be able to communicate with you. They can they can go through the Q&A portion, or they can do the room chat feature. There's a little keyboard. Well, they have their keyboard on this end, but it will appear for them on their end, and they can talk in the same way that you can talk with them from the back end of your virtual booth. And then here we are. Here are the speakers and staff. Thank you again for having all this uploaded, for sending all of this over so that I could upload it for you. Let me know if there's anything that you would like for me to change or switch, and I'm happy to do that. And then we have, this is your pop-up welcome message. So I will show you how that pops up for the attendees, and I have your logo here. And then finally, we have your content hub. And so, Ruthie, I think you mentioned that you guys, Ruthie and Natasha, I think you both mentioned that you might have some resources. So I am ready and waiting for whenever you send them. I think you have about 3 more open spaces. And then if any of these you would like to change, I can change it for you. So just let me know. I will work on that for you. But just to give you a picture.
So real quick, April, so on that contact hub, is that, so the items that we have on that particular place, is that what the attendees will be able to download?
Well, they won't be able to download. They can click into it, and it will take them.
Okay.
To,
and so how is that different than the playlist?
So the playlist is what you guys control.
Okay.
And so this side of things, this is the attendee facing side, they can click into it and see for themselves whatever you've included in your content hub. And the playlist, that's something that you upload for them, that you upload for them to see here.
Okay.
On this side, and this is where the holding slide will be. This is where videos will be. This is where the PowerPoint will be. And they can't control that. They can't click anything. They can't do any of that. Whoever is on the back end can only control that.
Okay.
So we could just set there live. Let's say Tommy, Todd, and I were, staging this right now. You would visually be able to see all 3 of us on this screen right now.
Yep.
And if anybody comes on our page, we could just have an open conversation with them.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then if we wanted to play a Fortress video, we would throw it in a playlist, and then this entire, our picture would go away and it would play whatever we put in that playlist.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. And then for here, just another thing, for here, you can only have 6, but 6 resources, but in the back end, you can upload, as I mentioned, I think one of my coworkers uploaded 16 the other day for another exhibitor. You don't have to do 16. You could do whatever you decide. But as far as I know, we haven't been able to find a limit. So you can put more things that you would like to include in this feature. That's totally up to you. But for this side of things, the content hub, the platform on the front end facing side can only take 6. So that's something important to note. And then next we have the virtual expo hall. So my manager has been working on this all night, last night. And so this is where you will be able to see all of the companies that are exhibiting with us. And so let's see if I click into it now. See, here we are. So let's say if I were an attendee, I'm like in the virtual expo hall, I see your company's name, and from here I can just click and learn more information about your company. So again, as I mentioned, I'm going to make this side of things live, so they could just click into it, but they can also click visit, and it will take them directly to your virtual booth, which is where you will be waiting to be able to speak with them and communicate. So this is what, as I mentioned, my manager has been working on it. As you can see, I'm waiting for a couple more logos to be able to upload. But this is where attendees will be able to see you and see your name, click into it, and communicate with you. And I think that explains the front end, the back end, your exhibitor portal. So again, I want to open up the floor for more questions.
Quick question. Let's say we have somebody that we want to add to the presenter slide for us. Can we do that up until the time of? Is that already shut off? Where I think we have.
Sorry, give me a second. Do you mean if you want to add someone here?
Yes.
Yes. So, yes, if you would like to add another person, absolutely. I would just need to get the okay. From, do you mean like just to be in your booth staff?
Yeah, because we may, Natasha, I brought up maybe Jeff may wanting to
Right.
maybe wanting to join this. So
Yeah.
my thought would be we should go ahead and get his headshot and get him added in here just in case he is able to attend.
So what you can do, because there would be no more, because the platform in terms of the tasks feature can only upload 6, you can send it to me if you would like to have that other person. I would just need their job title, email, and their headshot.
Okay, and so April, Toby, we can just go ahead. I can grab Jeff's photo and just get that done.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. Is there anything else? Any other questions about this side, the back end? Anything else that comes to mind?
Not for me. Not as long as Natasha and Ruthie are going to be there. I feel they will mother and guide us right through this thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Does anyone else have any other questions?
No, what would be helpful, April, after this call, if you can just send the link to me regarding the recording, and so that way, Toby and team, I'll go ahead and just kind of recap everything, and then give you guys a heads up of what we're planning on the playlist, so that way if there's other things you want to include on the playlist, as well as the items that we're including as part of the content hub, and then also to give you direct attachments to all the training materials, so that way you don't have to worry about trying to find it in the back end. You'll just have it within the email.
Awesome, awesome. So I will, as soon as this is available to me on this end, the recording, I will send it over to you, Natasha.
Okay, sounds great.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. You guys have been great. Please don't hesitate to call me or email if you have any other questions. And it's going to be a great show.
Right. Appreciate it.
Thank you, April.
Thanks,
All right,
everyone.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.